Most people are familiar with World War I and Japanese anime, and if you're curious as to how this thing caused this thing, you've come to the right place. But first, we have to start at the beginning. Due to rising tensions in Europe in the 1910s, when a Serbian national named Gavrilo Princip shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, it prompted the Austro-Hungarian Empire to give Serbia a list of impossible demands because Serbia was deemed ultimately responsible for the incident. After the Serbs refused, Austria-Hungary would declare war on Serbia, and since Germany was allied with Austria-Hungary, they would also declare war on Serbia. Due to the existence of even more alliances, Russia, France, Britain, Bulgaria, the Ottoman Empire, Italy, the US, and some others would all eventually join the war, resulting in a loss for the countries allied with Austria-Hungary and Germany. The resulting Treaty of Versailles penalized Germany to a great extent. Not long afterwards, the Great Depression would occur, and Germany was put in an even more perilous situation. Additionally, many Germans were upset at this and wanted something to blame. This allowed Hitler to rise to power, along with the re-rise of German nationalism and the persecution of many inferior peoples, most namely the Jews. This re-rise of nationalism made Germany more aggressive and assertive on the European stage, which in turn would eventually culminate in another world war, starting with the invasion of Poland. Japan would join Germany's side, as it had also experienced a rise in nationalism, thanks in large part to the Meiji Restoration, among other things, and would start expanding all throughout the Pacific. Together, both Germany and Japan would take vast swaths of land, occupying many former nations. Due to America's large presence on the Pacific front, they would demand complete control of Japan's post-war recovery, and the other allies complied. This occupation saw many forms of American media make its way to Japan, most notably comic books and cartoons. The post-war economic crisis in Japan saw many artists desiring to appeal to the youth in an effort to hinder the progression of any revolutionary ideas. So, cartoonists and writers started to make their own media, largely inspired by the American media, but with a Japanese twist, which would eventually culminate in the forms of anime and manga we see today. So we can theoretically say that the assassination of an Austrian prince in 1914 would eventually lead to, or have a large part in, the creation of anime and manga. Although, we can never be too sure about the extent of this role, because if you wanted to, you could relate the fall of the Western Roman Empire to the creation of the rubber ducky. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for watching my first video. I put a lot of effort into it, so if you can make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment or two, then maybe I can start making more videos just like this one.